Welcome back, BITCHIN and BASSIN fam. Welcome into the headquarters. Hopefully you guys liked the last video upload, which is all about PBs. It was an awesome video to make. It was awesome to do, period. Can't believe I caught those fish within 7 days of each other. And if you're on my channel, there's another video where I caught a giant muskie, which happened like 10 days after that second fish, after Dolores. So with all that being said, from now on, when we step into the headquarters, we are gonna start a tradition by paying homage to the PB wall. So with that being said, shout out Dolores. Hopefully we get you some friends up there very soon. So, but anyways, I'm excited because today's video is all about the new gear and baits we got over the off season for the new season this year, and I'm super excited to start trying some of it. Our weather is breaking. I've had a chance to throw one of the swim baits with great result, well, good results we'll say, but it's a very controversial, or it was a controversial bait with some others, and we'll get to that. But like I said, I'm super excited. Our plan is to get a ton more content out to you guys this year. We invested in a nice new camera, so if you guys want to help with the channel in any way, because we definitely need it, trying to get more content out with you, whether it's editing, camera work, graphics, anything, give me a shout out over on Instagram at BITCHIN and BASSIN. Would love to talk to you. Send me a message, let me know what you can help with. So let's get into the video, dude. I'm just like I'm too excited. Let's get to it. I'm gonna put you guys on the tripod and we'll start off with the gear. Let's see what gear we got for 2024. Alright guys and gals, so we got new gear and baits for 2024. Obviously we have a ton more baits than anything else, so we're going to start out with the gear, get it out of the way, and we're going to start with rods specifically. But one thing to note before we get into this, from the end of the season till about now, like the Bassmaster Classic until that's over, is the best time to get your bass fishing stuff. It's when all the sales are, from Black Friday to the Classic sales. You can get killer deals. I know Tackle Warehouse does killer deals on old stock rods at the end of the season, so you definitely got to stay up and just pay attention. They also do like 25 days at Christmas, so hopefully you guys got some killer deals this year. That's when I got most of this stuff, and over half of this stuff we got for a deal. So we'll definitely mention that when we come up to that. So let's get started. Oh, one last thing before we get started, mentioning the Bassmaster Classic, big shout out to Justin Hamner for winning the Classic. It's the first time in a while where a guy that won, not that Hamner's brand new, but he's only been in it a couple years, and I know he recently had some businesses he sold, and like he really had to bust his butt. So it's awesome to see someone who wins the Classic and it like truly changes their life. So big shout out Justin Hamner. If you guys don't know who he is, go give him a follow or check him out on I'm not even sure what his channel is, but I'm pretty sure he has a YouTube, and I know he has an Instagram. So go check out Justin Hamner. He freaking went wire to wire, which doesn't happen all the time, and won the Bassmaster Classic. So big shout out to him. Let's get into the rods. Alright, so first up we got a rod. The one rod that I actually didn't get a deal on. I just did that whole spiel, but it's the one rod I didn't get a deal on, but I've been looking for this rod since last season. It is a 6 Sense Response, the 6 Sense Response, and it is a 7.6 heavy, and that's because, guys, I've been wanting to get more into the Carolina rigging and get a better rod. I always throw the 6-inch swim baits, but I was throwing it on a 7.4, and for some reason I just didn't have a 7.6 heavy. Like, I had a big crankbait, a big flipping rod, but I needed a 7.6, so this one I'd been scouting for a while. I went with the Response because I don't know if you guys can tell, there's a lot of blank open on this rod, so there's a lot of feel, minimal handle, just what you need, you know what I mean? So it's got killer guides. This room's not big enough, so I don't want to move it all around, but give you guys a good shot of that. Awesome reel seat, handle. I love that butt end because you're always holding that with the when you bomb out those casts and stuff. But I've used it a couple times. I haven't used all the rods, but this one I have used a couple times. We had some nice weather, and I like it. I wasn't using it for what I got it for. I was actually throwing a sleeper craw on it just because I wanted to test out the rod. I was actually bank fishing with it. But so far, so good. I like it. Maybe we'll give it a better review if you guys want. If you do see anything here that you want to see a later review on, or you're interested in, just get in the comments. Be like, hey man, give me a 6-month review or end of season review, and we'll do that. So, but yeah, that is the 7.6 6 Sense, or the 7'6" heavy 6 Sense Response. Like I said, it's for the sea rigs, the heavy chatterbaits. the swim baits, stuff like that. Even heavy topwaters, but this thing the weight range is 3/8 of an ounce all the way up to 1.25 ounces, and it recommends 15 to 25 pound line. So you guys know the whole rod deal. So the first one is the 6 cents, and I think I got this, I think it's right in that like nice rod range, like $150, $175. I think I paid like $160 for it or something. I think the bigger ones are a little bit more. So that's the first rod, the 6 cents Response. So the next rod up, I was excited. This one I got at the Tackle Warehouse. Like I think it was right after Christmas, but Tackle Warehouse just had killer deals on rods. This has been a rod I've been looking at for quite a while now, and that is the Evergreen. Actually, I even got the Tackle Warehouse neoprene cover because it's probably one of the nicest rods I've ever owned. But that it is the Evergreen combat stick, and it is the jig and worm casting version. Guys, these rods, it's not the high end, there's some high end ones, but I know these brand new are like 250 bucks. I got this thing for $112. Like, I really didn't even have the money at the time when I got this, but hey, that's what credit's for. I'm paying for it now, but I just couldn't pass it up. It's the Evergreen Custom Bass Rods Combat Stick. It's that Brett Height design rod. He originally started designing them for chatterbaits, but they have a whole line for everything. Like I said, this is the jig and worm, and I really got this because I have some of Aaron Martin's heavier chatterbaits and even the jackhammers, and I kind of, because this is a little stiff for the regular jackhammer and the regular chatterbaits, so I got this for the heavier stuff. Plus I needed like just like a heavier weight Texas rig rod, something with a little bit more length, like 7.3. I used to have a ton of 7.3s. Now all I have is like my old frog rod is the only 7.3 rod, and that was like the money spot for me for like chatterbaits. I like a little shorter for a spinnerbait, but like football jigs, just all kind of stuff like that. I really like the 7.3, and to be able to have a combat stick, I mean, look at that, guys. That thing is freaking sweet. You real bass guys, you definitely have heard of the combat sticks before. Like I said, this room isn't really big enough to show off rods, but I want to kind of try to show you guys one of these guides. Like, the guides are freaking bulky, so I haven't got to use this rod yet. I am excited to. That is definitely a nice rod, and I am super geeked about that. So we'll definitely do a review on that, just because it's such an expensive rod at retail. So be on the lookout for that. Is the Evergreen, combat stick worth the high price? And so far so good. So it definitely is a sexy rod. So all right, 2 rods down, 2 more to go. All right, like I said, we did 2 rods. Now we're on to the last 2 rods, and I say the last 2 rods because we got these 2 rods in a package deal. Funny story, I actually was just cruising the Facebook fishing sites, as we all do. I mean, everyone's freaking, I love how I post to every freaking fishing site when everybody's follows the same site, so it doesn't make sense. But anyways, to say no more, cruising the Facebook website. I might have been fishing in Western PA. It was one of the local groups, and big shout out, I can't remember your name, but big shout out, dude. Dude got found, it was a discontinued sale, which that's actually not what it ended up being, but it was a discontinued sale for St. Croix Bass X rods, and he actually posted, hey, I got these crazy deal. Hey guys, go hurry up and get these before they run out. I was like, yo, this is I think the rods retail brand new are like just over $100, and I think they were selling them for half price. I think it was like 50 or 60 bucks. So I hurried up, got on it because I wanted a new swim bait rod, because I had a Dobbins Championship that long story, we'll get to that a different day, but it broke like while I was like, I can't remember, I wasn't even fishing with it when it broke, and so I was super mad. I barely got to use that, and then I was using just a giant flipping stick, which isn't meant for swim bait, and so I wanted a swim bait rod. That came up. I was super excited. Big shout out to the dude on Facebook that posted that. It was hard to find the site. I had to like go back to the Facebook picture and like type in exact. Thank God he had the freaking website at the top. I typed it in, found it, and as you guys know, St. Croix didn't discontinue the Bass X line. They just redesigned it, so it was like a discontinued sale on all the old models. So I ended up getting this first rod, which is, I got 2, and I got this first rod, and it is the 710 extra heavy power St. Croix Bass X rod. Like I said, the room's not too big and this is the biggest rod, but I want to show you that. Got the big old honking handle on it, which I love because yes, I did get to use this rod. These rods I got, this happened around like Thanksgiving time. So I've had these rods for a while. This one is pretty nice for even this would have been a good rod at full price. I think it's like the Bass X's are like 105, 110, and I think this was 120. Usually the biggest rod's like a couple bucks more, but I ended up getting this one for like 60 and the next rod I got for 50 bucks. So 2 rods for 110 bucks, guys. That's killer. And especially, I mean, that thing's got a killer reel seat. I like it. Bigger rod, this whole thing spins, this whole thing tightens the reel seat down. I hate when you have like a big rod with a bulky reel on it and you just still have that regular little reel seat. This whole thing spins to help you tighten that down, which something small but awesome. Wish more did that. Got a big old freaking for those big hooks. And this one ranges, it's a 710, like I said, extra heavy power, so it's super stiff. I kind of wish I would have went with less, because I have a lot of treble hook big baits, which is what I got it for. And this one ranges from 2 to 5 ounces. It recommends 14 to 80 pound line, but you know, do what you do. But I've actually thrown one of the glides on this, and I haven't caught a fish on it yet, but we had a bunch of attacks. It's one of the freaking like I said, it was controversial bait, but I like the bait. We'll get to that later. But we had 3 fish at North Park of all places. Every time I went, I threw this first, and within the first 3 casts I had a fish come up and try to attack it, and I'll show you proof of that later on the actual bait. But yeah, they attacked it. This bait, I mean, this rod's probably a little stiff for the bait I'm talking about, but awesome rod, especially for the price. Hopefully some of you guys out there saw that and got on this deal. I'm glad I did. And that's the first rod, the 710 swim bait rod. So now we are back with a proper swim baiting rod. We have to make sure we take care of it. That's why I like to leave the rods in the boat instead of bringing them in here, because all it takes is one mistake and boom, there goes the tip of your rod. Nothing kills your spirit like that. But anyways, the second rod of the deal, we went all the way to the other end of the spectrum, and I tried to get like I think it was the 7.1 medium light, or the 7.1 just regular straight up medium. I wanted another spinning rod. I only have 2 decent ones. I wanted a third one because I had a Falcon Buco 6.6 that I freaking caught at a Lake Arthur, which that's all on video. If you guys ever want to see that, dude, I freaking caught a freaking rod and reel. The reel was trash. Caught a spinning rod, and I ended up catching like a 5-pounder on it, a Keystone. I caught a ton of fish on this thing, dude, and I caught it from the bottom of the freaking lake, dude. Sweet rod. But I finally broke that last year. It was swole. I didn't have like a Senko. I always like to have 3 spinning rods. So I tried to get that. They messaged me, hey, we sold out of that rod. I wasn't able to get back to them in time before they sent it out, and I'm actually happy I didn't, because they sent me this rod, which is the St. Croix spinning Bass X, and it is the 7.1 medium heavy. So it's not a medium, it's a medium heavy. So it's actually a bulky spinning rod, which I kind of like. There's some cool things I want to try with it. It's got a nice little reel seat, a little bit of cork up there, little butt. But these old Bass X rods weren't bad looking rods. So, I mean, I guess they wanted to redo them. They came out with reels. Like 7 is the St. Croix, their reels, that's the St. Croix. St. Croix just did like a whole overhaul of all their gear. So I guess I can see why. But this thing is a nice rod, and I like the fact that it's a medium heavy. This thing ranges from 3/8 to 3/4 of an ounce. And I've never had that bulky of a spinning rod meant for bass, like maybe a catfish rod. But so it's gonna be fun. I have some smaller swim baits that might be fun to throw with this. Maybe like be able to, because with some weight, I think I might be able to toss a bait freaking a mile with this thing. I can skip a Senko with any rod, but with a spinning rod, dude, I can skip a Senko a mile. So not that I need it for the Senko, but for maybe the bigger fish or bed fishing or whatever. So we're definitely gonna play around, definitely stick around the channel. It's gonna be cool to play around with like a heavier, I mean, if people do, they don't mention it. Every time I see a spinning rod, it's a fairy wand. So this is kind of a bulky spinning rod. So yeah, this was 50 bucks, 7-1 medium heavy power, and it was a part of a 2-package deal. So that's why I say, guys, you gotta do your freaking research. But yeah, so we got 4 new rods to the freaking arsenal. Sorry for blib blab. Hopefully I edit a bunch of that out for your guys' sake. So, all right, that's it for the rods. Now let's check out some new reels, which one of them includes a $50 Shimano reel. We'll save that one for last. Yeah, you heard me right. It's a baitcaster, a $50 Shimano baitcaster. So, all right, y'all, let's get into the reels. All right, guys, so we're getting into the reels, and the first one up, I didn't really get a deal with it. I got it at Tackle Warehouse with the 6 cents rod, just because I think my wife, it was like a Christmas present, so part of it I picked out, and I think I went a little bit over too. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. But the first one up is, I went with, I'm a big fan of Japanese reels, obviously, and especially Daiwa, and I went with the Tatula 200H, and this one is the 6.3. And I got this one to go with that big swim bait rod. This is the Tatula. I love Tatulas, man. I'm actually missing a Tatula. I have no idea. I had a Tatula CT, like the low end one. And after I went to Florida, I know I brought it back, but I don't know what the hell went with it. But anyways, this one is the brand new Tatula 200H. It's not the 300, that's the one they recommend for bigger swim baits, because I like to use my reels for other stuff. So this one is plenty. This is the one I was using on that big 710 swim bait rod so far. The couple times that I did use it, but just a good looking reel. But yeah, guys, I like this reel. It's got the good tacky handles. I actually bought an aftermarket handle for this. We'll go over that later. But yeah, like I said, I love Tatulas, and a big reason why I like Tatulas over Shimanos recently, kind of starting to fill out more more Daiwas, I should say, than Shimanos, is I've been noticing Daiwas have a little bit better drag. So especially for like flipping and pitching and stuff where you really got to jack it, or even when you want to control the drag, I just think Daiwas have that drag a little bit more dialed in. Some people maybe not, but I know with the Corrado K's, I've had a couple instances where that thing has slipped on me. So, and it hasn't, I mean, it might happen on Daiwas, it hasn't happened as much for me. So that's why I went with Daiwas. First one, Daiwa Tatula 200H, the 2023 model or 2024, brand new. This thing's like maybe a month and a half old. So the newest one you can get, that's the first one. The next reel is another Daiwa. This one's pretty cool. I got this one because of that reason I just said, the drag. My old finesse jig and flipping reel, or not, that's not the same reel, but all my like jig and my flipping reels were Corrado, so I wanted to switch those out. And for this one, I went with a Tatula SV 103XH, like the fast speed one. This I ended up getting for a deal because I always like to scour Amazon. It's weird. You'll find the craziest things on Amazon. And I was able to find like a Japanese store, and they had this. This is actually the 2020 model of the Tatula SV TW 103XH, all that right there. It's the nicer end one. It's the 8-to-1 ratio, gear ratio, so it's the real fast one, because like I said, we're going to be using it for everything from jigs, flipping, frogging, stuff like that. Beautiful freaking reel. Really like this reel, but like I said, it was like their last one. The writing for the store was in Japanese. It was like, I think I paid like 120 bucks, and this is like a $200 reel. And I was able to get it for a crazy deal. So that's why I say, guys, you gotta be on your toes looking for these deals. But I originally did get an extra handle for this one too, but this thing is just so like spot on. Like I said, we'll do some better shots of these so you can get a better look at it. But look, it's got the purple, the Daiwa Tatula SVs, and I think the CTs did it too. They have a little color indicator right there. People think like, oh, different colors. No, that's the purple means fast. There's 3 different colors, like the slow, the regular, and the fast. This one's the fast one, like I said, because we're using it for those when you need to get them up and out of there, like for frogging, jig, all that. It's got the cool little TW. So does the other one. I think most of the Daiwas have that now. It's got the good brakes on it. This one has a little bit more of that spider design on it, and the even though it's the 2020 model, I don't think it's changed much recently, but it's got the, this thing is just like if the swim bait rod was like the Suburban of the lineup, this is like the Corvette, dude. This thing's sweet. I know there's a lot higher end Daiwas, but this is like my Corvette now. So badass reel. But yeah, guys, so we got 2 Daiwas, one for a killer deal. So I'm excited to use this one. Also, like I said, that first one, the swim bait Daiwa Tatula, that one is a 200 size, so it's got a little bit more line capacity, and the Daiwa Tatula SV is a 100 size reel. It's the 103XH, which is basically a 100 size spool. That number is the spool size, if you guys didn't know. 100's usually the smaller one. I think they make 70s and 50s. I know Shimano makes a 70. And then it goes up 200, 300, 400, and so on. I don't know how much further past that, but for bait casters, I know it goes up to like 400, and that's like the real small reel, so it can hold a ton of line. But yeah, that's those 2. Let me know, guys, are you Team Daiwa or Team Shimano? Which one? I mean, if you guys, I mean, usually everyone has at least like one Japanese reel in their arsenal. Which one are you? I'm starting to lean Team Daiwa, but I got both of them, and you're gonna see that because I found, like I said before, a $50 Shimano reel, and it's a bait casting reel. I know you guys are like, oh, it's a freaking one of the Walmart spinning Shimanos, no, which still ain't bad reels. Like even the cheap Shimanos are not bad spinning reels. But from scouring Amazon once again, and we came across the killer. I had to $50 Shimano, even if it's just for the video, just for the review down the line. Which this one will definitely get a review. We got to see how the $50 Shimano holds up, and let's get to it. Let's see what Shimano bait caster can you get for $50. I'm about to show you, and that, my friends, is the $49.99 Shimano Bass Rise. I'm guessing that's how you say that. Bass Rise. Bass Rise. Yep. And that's what you get for $50. This reel actually looks real familiar to me. And I'll show you in a minute here why, but this right here, does this look familiar to you? This is the $50 Bass Rise. And this right here is the main reason I ended up buying this reel. I'll get you some better shots here in the light box, but this right here is why I ended up buying it, because for those of you that know Shimanos know that this looks very much like another reel in their lineup, and I happen to have that reel, and it is one of the workhorses of my reels, or was. I mean, we'll still use it, but it is the Shimano Caius. I think that's it. The Shimano Caius 150 HG. This one is in the same speed. These are both 7.2 to 1, as you can see. There's one. I'll try to get them both in the shot there for you. And that's why I ended up going with this one, because that one being such the workhorse, the box drop, but that one being such the workhorse of my lineup, that actually is what we caught Dolores on. I was throwing it on my finesse jig setup, and I only had 12-pound lined on it, so that reel is goated for me. But once I saw that, scrolling through Amazon, I told you guys how I look for deals, and if you ever put in a search, let's say I put in, Shimano bait cast reel, you know how you'll search and search, you'll go down like 1 or 2 pages, and then it just starts showing stuff that like isn't even related to your search. Well, if you keep going and keep going, it'll kind of come back to like the Shimanos. Like, I don't know why it does it. It's maybe a trick to try to get you to buy other stuff on Amazon, but other sites do it too. I've done it with other sites, but if you look long enough, keep scrolling through them pages, you'll come across weird deals with these. Now, when I went back to look for it, it was easier to find. So I don't know if they just put this on Amazon. The store I bought this off was in Japanese writing. But I mean, guys, this thing is awesome. It's built just like the other Shimano. It seems like they used a little bit more plastic parts, and I noticed that the spool's a little different. Same size, the spool's just cut a little different, so it's probably a little heavier. And this one does have a downgraded handle here. I'll get the other one to show you. That's the Caius handle, little tiny bit bigger, and it has the the Type R handles, those real tacky handles. This looks like the Type R handles, but they're like basically knockoffs if you could. They're just like a little bit smaller. The handle's a little bit shorter. All the like the little details, there's not as much red on this one, just the spool. And this one also just has the regular brakes. This one has the upgraded Shimano brakes on it, and this one, I forget what they're called, but this one just has your regular centrifugal brakes, which I don't really think should matter too much. The way I fish a lot of my reels, I don't use any brakes at all, especially on the side. I might tighten up the spool just a tad, but a lot of times once I get used to a reel, I really don't use the brakes anyway, so hopefully that's not a big deal. But yeah guys, this being a $50 Shimano reel, we're definitely going to use this, beat it up, and we'll definitely do a review video on this one for you guys. This is going for $54 on Amazon, and I'm pretty sure this Caius goes for $90, so it's like a $30 upgrade. It's like their $100 range reel, but both, well, I know for sure this is an awesome reel, so I have really high expectations for this one. Just because we got it here. This is the inside of the Caius brakes. As you can see, it's got the tabs with the thing on this side. I can't remember what this shot is. Maybe I'll put it up on the screen if I have time. But this is like your Shimano brakes. A lot of them have this style of brake. And then here we have the Bass Rise. Like I said, just the spool almost fell out. You see the spool side, and it just has the brakes. You'll see here as you turn up the brakes, you can see those magnets come into sight, and that's how just your regular average brakes work. So like I said, I don't think it'll be that big a deal. I actually think the Bass Rise, I was doing a little bit of research, and I know the older models were like the saltwater version of the Caius, so I don't know if this one was built to be safe for saltwater. You'd think it'd be the other way around, just because there's maybe more plastic on this one, but maybe that's why. But it sounds good. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Sounds like a Shimano, or feels like a Shimano. I don't know what it is about the Daiwa and the Shimanos. They just, and there's a couple other reels, they just feel like more put together. Like, I don't know if they're using heavier stuff or what, but like, if you fish some reels, you guys know there's just something different about Japanese reels, and I love them. So I'm excited to get to this. Like I said, we will get a review on this. Hope that I didn't forget anything. But yeah, guys, the Shimano Bass Rise, 7:2 to 1 ratio. I don't know if it comes in any other ratios. Same as my the Shimano Caius. So that will do it for the reels. That Shimano was the last of the reels, so we got a total of 3 new reels and 4 new rods. We might add a spinning reel down the line, but I do have someone gave me a Kistler that I've been having problems with, but I think I know why. I'm gonna rebuild it. Hopefully it gives me better results. But that's it for the gear. Let's get into the baits. I did forget, before we get into the baits, I did get one more piece of gear. That is the new tournament scale. I know that new Bubba scale, if you guys have been watching Bass Live or seeing a lot of guys' YouTube videos, if you see that red scale you're seeing, that's a Bubba scale. There's 2 different versions. They're like $100 and $200. I want that scale. I just couldn't justify spending that much on the scale. I ended up getting a gift card to Bass Pro Online, so I had a little bit left over. Figured new scale. My old scale wasn't bad, but this is cool, especially because you could see all these spaces. You can save up to like 8 fish. So it's got a better clip on it instead of the hook. So came with a nice little pouch. I think it was like 50 bucks. It was either 35 or 50 bucks. So yeah, now let's get to the baits. That's all the gear. All right, so we're getting into the baits, and this very first bait, at the time is when I bought these baits, there was 3 companies that were making this new breakthrough style of bait. Obviously the OG company, which had actually been doing it for longer than we knew, and then the 2 copycats. All I'll say to this controversy is, if we didn't have the copycats, I know I personally wouldn't have a chance, at least not yet, to be fishing this bait. That's because the OG company, the first couple drops that I tried I was not able to get one, and they're easier to get now. They're just a little bit still too overpriced for me just to have. So, and that bait being the Grow Design Works soft glide bait, the Flag 170, plus they make a couple different other versions. They have like a panfish version. They have another style of bait fish from South America, like a ginbana or something. But yeah, the Grow Design Works soft glide bait was a breakthrough. Everybody was loving it. Such a big deal that the masses got a hold of it. And so the Berkley Power Bait Nessie 7 was born, which is one of the copycats. It's the one that took all the heat for copying that bait. But Grow Design Works is still kind of like a boutique, smaller company, so it's hard for them to mass produce, especially the quality of their bait, like the paint schemes and the hardware, I guess, is just, it's too hard for that small of a company to produce it and not have guaranteed sales. But a company like Berkley can. So one of the first bait on the list today is the Berkley Power Bait Nessie 7. It's the soft glide bait. I have one out of the case here. I actually bought a couple of these because Grow Design makes a bunch of different versions and options. Berkley also makes a bunch of different sizes. Not as many options as with the Grow Design Works, but like I told you before, they have been in the game a lot longer. This is another 7-inch. That the one in the box was the 7-inch. This is also the pretty cool color green pumpkin 7-inch. As you can see, they have a nice little paintbrush tail. They have a little mesh joint in there. They have 2 stabilizers. On the bottom one, it tells you what size. You can see it's kind of hard to see them, but they're the plastic things that kind of help keep it horizontal. It's got 1 hook up front. It's got a nice little clip there that helps keep it in, and you can also slide it in the body to hide one of the trebles. So when the idea being when the fish bites it, the hook stays in, so he doesn't have the leverage of this to throw the bait. But this hooky is pretty tight, and it doesn't always come apart, we'll say. But got a nice big old eye there. I don't know why, I have a thing for eyes. I love when a bait has good eyes on it. I do like that Berkley style of eye, that Storm Arashi eye. But yeah, guys, it's pretty basic. I will say I did get a chance to take the 9-inch out. I'll show you that. Well, actually, we'll just grab it here right now. That 7-inch is an ounce, and here is the 9-inch. This is a 2-ounce, and this has a 2-aught hook. The 7-inch has a 1-aught hook. As you can see, that's a nice little trout pattern. I also could kind of for a gizzard shad, but I actually got a chance to fish this over at North Park, and as you can see, it has some. I fished it 3 different times, and within the first 3 casts, all 3 times, I've had a follower, 2 of them try to, actually all 3 of them try to bite it. As you can see, there's bite marks. I'm just holding it, not showing you, but there's some bite marks. It's hard to tell with this lighting, but there's like right around the joint, it's all scraped up from fish attacking it. That's the only thing I have to say about this. With that only being 1 hook, every fish kind of grabbed it like right there behind the hook. 1 fish kind of got the hooks, but I got too excited, pulled it away. But I will say this is a great bait, especially at the Grow Design Works right now. If you just want to outright buy it, is like $80 to $100. If you get it on a drop, I think it's a little bit cheaper, depending on which one you get. But the Berkley Nessie, you can go to Dick's, you can go to wherever, and it's 12 to 15 bucks depending on what size you get. So that's awesome. And it's an awesome bait, even though it's only a soft bait, it's an awesome bait to get to learn glide baiting on. So definitely don't forget that. Definitely get out there and try one. And another cool one, which I haven't seen anybody talk about or show, is they make a 5-inch. Which I have some ideas for this thing. You're gonna see all of these in videos, but this one is definitely gonna throw up in some trash, maybe skip under a dock. I mean, you can do that with the bigger ones, but I think this one will get bit. It's got that same nice little hook up front. They're all the exact same, just different sizes. Paintbrush tail. I think that 5-inch, this is in shad color. It's just got the honeycomb patches all over it. I think that one's gonna be special. So like that new spinning rod I got, I think that one's gonna be pretty good on. So that's the Berkley Nessie 7, 9, and 5. I think it's 2 ounces is the 9-inch, 1 ounce is the 7-inch, and the 5-inch is 2.5 or 2/5 of an ounce. So that's the first company, and the one that took all the heat for copying the Grow Design Works Flag 170. The one that snuck in under the freaking rug or under the door or whatever you want to say, and it's a bigger company that a lot of people don't know make a copy, is the Megabass IU Twitcher. This is another soft glide bait, guys, obviously. It's 7 inches. This is the only size I could find in this. I don't know if they make other sizes. The Berkley 7-inch is 1 ounce. This one is 1 3/8 ounce, and I'll show you why. Here it is in a different color. This is their gizzard shad color, and right away you could tell. Here's the Berkley 7. Look how much wider the Mega Bass is. Now they both have a pretty aggressive joint. I forgot to show you that on the. There's the joint on the Berkley Nessie. So you can chop with it if you want to. You could still use it as a regular glide bait, but you can chop, kind of use it as like a spook under the water. Same with this one. But as you can see, it does have some differences. This tail is more like the Flag 170's tail. It's like a really flimsy rubber soft. This soft plastic in general is more like your traditional soft plastic, like your Senko plastic and stuff. Not as like flimsy or whatever, but it has that same like softness to it. So it's got a little bit bigger of a hook than the 7 does. It's closer to that 2/0 hook on the 9, but obviously it has that magnet, so it doesn't have that clip. This hook looks like just a tiny less bulkier than that. It's not as thick as the 9-inch 2/0 hook, but still enough to get the job done. Same idea, boom, breaks away. But I think just because like the different size of the bait, I think these are all, even with the flag, like if you guys want to see me get the flag and you want to do a review of all of them together, make sure you get in the comments and let me know. That could be a cool video. We'll get some underwater footage and everything. But I think these, just like with all other kinds of baits, there's going to be different scenarios where different ones work better. So, but like I said, here's that other color. That's it in the 7-inch. There's really not too much more to say about these. This is called the AYU Twitcher. Now I know Mega Bass, they make another version of this swim bait, but it's not a glide bait. It's a segmented swim bait, kind of like a bull shad. So instead of just the one joint in the middle to make it a glide bait, it has like 2 or 3. So it's like a little swimming, but it's also soft plastic, and I think it also only has 1 treble hook on it. So if you do want to get the Mega Bass version, make sure you're buying the IU Twitcher. It was kind of hard for me to get. I got it out of Orlando shop that only sells JDM stuff, so I'm not sure how hard they are to get, but I got 2 of them, so we'll be seeing them here on the channel. So that's the 2 soft glide baits. Like I said, if you want to see me get the Flag 170 and we'll kind of do them all together, see which one's best, make sure to get in the video. But let's move on to the next baits, and we're going to kind of go through them quicker. I just wanted to kind of go over that controversy a little bit. Well, not controversy, but you know what I mean. So let's get into the next one. Alright, like I said, moving along, we're just going to make it easy and stick with the swim baits. And next up is a bait that actually it came out and it took a while for it to like actually hit the shelves. I don't know why, I can't quite remember, but I know it did. And it's actually the sister bait to the Berkley Nessie, and that is the Berkley Call Shad. I've done this take like 2 or 3 times. I'm not doing it again, and every time it's upside down. Why? But yeah, it's the Berkley Call Shad, guys. I will take it out, or I'll show you another one to get you a better look. But they also make this in 2 different sizes. This is the 6-inch, and here we have the big bad boy 8-inch, which is awesome. I'm excited to throw this guy. These things are pretty sweet. They kind of copied that technology from their chatterbait trailers with that tail, with that honeycomb. Kind of gives the bait all like super flexibility, which means the action is pretty sweet. I fished the 6 a little bit. The action is definitely awesome, in tune with your average, 6-inch rig swim bait, but definitely something different. It definitely has the Berkley power bait smell to it, which I'm kind of addicted to now. I never used to like it. I don't like the purple. This is the yellow one, but it's got that power bait scent. I'm like just holding it, not telling you guys anything about it. But this 8-inch one is 2 3/4 ounces. It's 8 inches long, and it has that same 2/0 hook on there. Big good hook. It's got that clip. I mean, that clip is key. I really like that little clip that holds the key. It's just like the mag draft version of the magnet. But I always like that Berkley eye, that real aggressive big eye. I think that does help when the sun's out or the water's clear. But yeah, guys, we got a couple of these. I actually saw Matt Robertson. He was like one of the first ones. I think he was fishing it in not this past classic, the classic before, and was crushing them. But I saw a lot of elite anglers and guys just doing pretty well on these, so I definitely wanted to get my hands on it. doing a little bit of research on it, I got this one because I mean I have a ton of 6-inch swim baits. I didn't need another one, but the reason I got this one of the main ones was because here's another 6-inch. I don't know if you guys can see that there, but that's a little nail weight. And these things actually come with, on the package, they have like 2 strategic spots you guys can put nail weights to get this thing to fish lower. And I don't know if you guys can see, I like to use, it looks weird because it's been sitting, but I like to use tungsten putty, and sometimes I'll put that on the hook to help get it low, and it just kind of evens out the weight a little more instead of putting it all in one spot. But yeah, this is kind of, I was fishing this one 10-15 foot deep without a problem. But I really like this color. This is their green pumpkin color, but I really, just not anything to do with this bait, just in my personal preference, I really love, especially in moving baits, I love a two-tone bait, especially with a hard like contrast line. That pops more to fish. Not so much what color it is, but that it has that hard contrast of 2 different colors. I think that helps stick out to bass, especially the aggressive ones, and that's the ones we want, baby. But yeah, that is the Berkley Call Shad 6. Guys, this thing is super soft. It's durable too at the same time, it seems, at least if what I fished it. I don't know why, that was weird. Why did I sniff that? I was just like, does this one smell? Of course it smells, Case. But yeah, it's got that power bait smell. The 6-inch one is 1 1/5 ounce, 6 inches, and it has a size 1 hook. I've been saying 1/0 for like these smaller, like the 7-inch Nessie, and this one, they're not 1/0s, they're size 1 hooks. There's a difference. I know that there's a difference. But yeah, that is the Berkley Call Shad. So you guys will definitely see that on there too, because that 8-inch I think is gonna be like a deep water dam. We'll put some weights in it, try to get it down there deep. I think it can do some damage. But also the next swim bait is kind of already built for that right off the package. So let's get into that. Man, I don't know why the Berkley Call Shad was a tough one to get through. It's probably because I had to take a break and like let the washer finish so you guys can only hear the dryer right now. Hey, I'm a family man. If you guys have kids, you know the washer and dryer doesn't stop. Just film the video. I waited 2 days. Look, I'm rambling. But anyways, I don't know why that Call Shad, it was so rough. But the next bait up, I'm super excited to try. It's kind of been a controversial one, just kind of because of who makes it. And that is the Zaldangerous. That's what, I'm like, what's the name of the swim bait? You just said it. It's the Bass Mafia Zaldangerous swim bait. This is the rigged version. A lot of people, I think, are confused. They don't realize they make a weedless version that came out a couple months before this, and this is the line through top hook version, which is super cool, super different. We'll take this out and kind of show you guys why. But I say controversial just because it's Zaldane's bait. I like Chris Zaldane, but obviously there's been videos coming out going against Milliken's swim bait and his swim bait. But the funny thing is, like I told you, that video that Bass Fishing HQ came out with, the Zaldangerous swim bait, this one in particular, the top hook one, actually came in like 2nd place. You can reel it slow, fast, it doesn't want to blow out, but enough of that. Go check out that video for yourself. But this, I did pick up the Zaldangerous line through top hook deep version. I think this one's 1.9 ounces. If you could see in the light there, there's a big old chunk of lead in there, and that's because I got this. There's a certain lake I can't wait to use this on. It's got big gizzard shad, and there's big ones that sit down by the dam, and I think this might be perfect. And it's super cool because you see this is a top hook, right? Bing, comes right on out. There's a magnet in there. You run the line through there, and instead of having some kind of crazy hook, this is, he even said, I mean, I've watched some videos on this, this is a hook that's kind of meant just for this size and lengthwise, but you can replace it with a regular straight shank hook if something were to happen to this, or if you want a smaller, bigger, whatever the case may call for. There's a split right there in the dorsal fin. I really like it. I'll show you in the weedless versions, but it has a real like distinct body, a body shape. It's got like a booty on it, or like a belly, I would say. And then of course it's got a killer kicker tail there with the Bass Mafia on it. But man, it's got a nice cool little eye. Like I told you before with that Berkley eye, I love an aggressive eye. I like the two-tone color eye there. I think that could stick out, the gold reflectors. But yeah, like I said, this is something I'm excited to fish deep. So far I've only seen it in the 6-inch, and I think they sell it in like a shallow and deep. There might be 3 versions. I should have did better research on that. But and they come in a 1 pack. I think this one, I didn't bring up the other ones, but I want to say this one was like 15 bucks. which wasn't bad. And when I bought it, I got a chance to win a boat, I think. But yeah, I'm definitely excited to use this one. I think that feature right there, it's not only is it a line through, but it's not a treble. Like, you can freaking, when you feel this thing get eaten, you can freaking, you give it that freaking over-exaggerated hook set and not have to worry so much. But like I said, he came out with another version prior to the Zaldangerous rigged swim bait, and that was the Bass Mafia, just regular 7-inch weedless swim bait. This one is in the regular gizzard shad color, but also another good looking swim bait, just like the rigged one, but this one doesn't have any weight in it. You obviously would put the weight on the whatever hook you would use. Obviously that new, if you guys haven't seen that new core tackle, which I should have gotten, that tush hook could be good on this. But like I was saying, you can see a little better on this bait. See how that body has like a real nice distinct feature. It's like, and then it's like boom. Occasionally most swim baits do that, but this one's just, it's different. It's definitely, if you've had this swim bait, there's that split. I think, yeah, even this one has the split on the fin, bring that hook through, which I think is pretty cool. Nice gap to put all your hook in there. But yeah, I think this one can be killer too. This one, pre-spawn and post-spawn, I think they're gonna eat this one up. I got another, that same lake with the dam, it's got giant gizzards, so we'll take this one north of the lake and throw it shallow. But other lakes obvious too. When I bought these baits, I knew exactly when and where I was gonna throw them, especially that rigged one. But yeah, big shout out to Zaldangerous. So far, I've heard nothing but good things about this bait, and I am excited to try it. And no, I was not able to get a hangover. If you guys did your homework and watched the release video, they're just super like dialed into what you want to use them for, and I've already had a bunch of swim baits. When I know more where I want to use that bait, maybe we'll pick up a hangover. Or you guys get in the comments, do you want me to get a hangover and put it up against this and do this in like the Nessie versus the knockoffs, this versus the hangover, even though I think they're all kind of used for different situations. But hey, maybe who has the most versatile bait will be the thing. I think that's it for the soft swim baits. Now, like I told you, we are going big bass hunting this year, and I've been prepping for it for a while now, and we had to go out and get some glide baits. So first up, very popular one this year, probably one of the best ones to get introed in price wise, ability to like learn on wise. At least that's what I've heard. I've only fished it once to kind of check it out. I saw it online. Sometimes a certain color sticks out to me, even if there's like, we have lakes that don't have this bait fish. But when I saw the freaking Shad by Spro and Perch, I was like, ooh, I gotta have that bait. I gotta have that bait. Pretty bait. If you've been watching fishing channels, if you've been watching release videos, you've definitely heard about the Shad. KGB, I think that's the company that used to make it before, is a real popular bait. They partnered up with Spro, and just like how, well, not just like, I mean, Nessie did kind of knock the design, but for good reason. But they actually teamed up with KGB and Spro to be able to bring you and mass produce the the famed Shad Glide, and it even has more colors now. I'm not sure how many colors the original came in, but let's get this thing out, because this thing is a sweet swim bait. And I want to say they run right about 60 bucks, but for 60 bucks, guys, when you guys got the paintbrush tail, like legit, got swivel hook hangers, which is key, which is very key. If you guys watch swim bait guru Steve Kennedy, who's I mean, he's not a guru, he got into swim baits late, but this is the one thing he kept bringing up, was those rotating hook hangers, and bad boy, this one got it. And I was happy because his favorite bait I already had. That's the next one, we'll get to that one next. But yeah, guys, this is more of that chop style glide. It kind of has more of that aggressive for the hard, but I mean, just because it's a chop style glide doesn't mean you can't use it as a regular glide. And like I told you before, ooh, look at that big aggressive eye. You know Daddy likes them eyes. That was weird to say, but come on, focus. But yeah, killer eye. It's got some weights in there. 2 big old hooks. Spro doesn't really put information about at least their bigger baits on their packaging. It just really says KGB Shad, and I've seen a ton of videos on it, guys. Like I keep repeating myself, but it's probably the best nicer glide bait to intro into bass fishing. Right there, the KGB Chad Shad. I have plans to work this thing just like a spook, just like an underwater spook, on some aggressive fish, especially come spawn time. So I'm telling you guys, we're gonna find a giant, and my whole goal is just to get it all on camera for you guys. So, but yeah, the Chad Shad, guys, if you are planning on getting into glide baiting, I would definitely at least do some research, check out some videos, look up the KGB Chad Shad glide. Oh man, I think it's time for a smoke break. We'll get right back. Well, you guys will see it right away. Let's get to the next bait. All right, moving along quickly, another glide bait. I actually got this one before the Chad Shad, and especially after that Steve Kennedy Bilge podcast, I am super excited to try this one out. This is the G-Rat Baits Sneaky Pete. It is 8 inches long, 2.5 ounces, right in that low end window of that swim bait rod I got. So, I mean, it's probably too much for what I got. I will in the future be looking for a more parabolic swim bait rod, but for now that one will do. But this one also got a more aggressive joint, a little sleeker. It's not as big a profile as the Spro Chad Shad. As you can see, that Chad Shad's a pretty tall panfish style glide bait. This is more of that shad profile. It's got a stiffer plastic tail. It looks like it seems a little bit more durable. But key, like Steve Kennedy said, it has those rotating hook hangers, guys. So that fish does not have nearly as much leverage as if these didn't spin. I mean, these baits are big, and those fish are pretty heated when they get caught by one of these. So it's not hard for one of them to throw it. So we don't want to give them any extra chances to be able to throw this bait. But nice big old tie on out there at the front. Not such a big aggressive eye, but I like the shading around the eye to clearly mark like the front of the bait to the fish if the fish is tracking it. Not that he wouldn't know what the front is, but I kind of like that. It's kind of like a target. This is that light, it might be a hitch. I can't remember, what is the color on this? So this is color 13. I think it was like a special edition, like JP or something. But that is the G-Rat Baits Sneaky Pete, 8 inches, 2.5 ounces. They make like a Papa Pete, a bigger one. This is that perfect introduction level to glide baiting, and we're gonna try to master this one. This one you'll probably see the most of. So, and shout out Steve Kennedy for making my purchase feel even that more justified, because I bought this one before the Chad Shad. So when he kept coming back to the G-Rat Sneaky Pete, and not to mention this one was half the price of the G-Rat, still pretty damn good quality, like pretty close to that Chad Shad, if not better, and it was only 35 bucks, dude. That's a killer swim bait for 35 bucks, guys. Definitely check out G-Rat Baits. So definitely a cool bait. Alright, so we're definitely excited to fish those glide baits, especially that G-Rat. Like, well, actually both of them. I mean, they're both good looking baits. But I told you before I was done with the soft swim baits. We got a lot of swim baits this year because I even forgot about this one. This is another 6-inch rigged swim bait, and this is the Spro Megalojohn. John Cruz designed swim bait. I like this one. I kind of bought all these because they all kind of had something pretty different than the other. For that reason, that's why I wanted to get them, to try to see which ones work better, what situations would they work better in. This is probably my favorite Spro color. This is called Cellmate. It's just those black dots, like that zebra print, and that nice blue up top. I don't know what it is. I saw this color, had to get it because anytime I fish a Spro hard bait, I always end up like getting these colors, like whether it's in like a mystery tackle box or it's the only color they have in that, but they've done work. I've caught tons of fish on it, so that is the color choice here. And this one's a lot different because it's a lot bulkier. And like I said, they don't put any info on their packaging. Why, I don't know. But I did do some research, saw John Cruz talking about it. This thing comes in, I'm pretty sure, at 1 3/4 ounces. And it's really meant for that 6-foot range. It's got a really nice action. It even comes with a magnet that you screw in. So there, it holds that just like the mag draft, or you can stick it in the body. I mean, this thing has plenty of freaking durable plastic on it. It's got that like shark's fin up top. Got that little different, ooh, look at that, that's a good shot. But yeah, that's the Spro Megalodon, and we're definitely gonna do a video. We have enough 6-inch rake swim baits, just like Bass Fishing HQ, except we're gonna be trying to catch fish with ours, and we're gonna see which one catches us the biggest fish. So, but I think they all are gonna have their place. So now I think yes. Yes, even if we find more swim baits, we'll save them for another video. We're done with the swim baits for this video. Let's get on to some other baits I am super excited for. Damn it, I kind of lied again, but kind of didn't. We're done with the swim baits, but I did have a couple more swim bait related items. I saw these and just had to try them, thought they were cool. 6th Sense has really been coming out with some cool, innovative stuff. One of them being this. I was only able to get one because that's all they had left in the store, but we got their, I don't know if you guys can see that. Oh, I just showed you the other baits. But it is their underspin. I almost said swing head because this head swings, but it is. It's their underspin that has that free swinging hook. So it's really going to allow your swim bait to get the maximum action, which is definitely what you need for pre-spawn and post-spawn. Those fish are super aggressive, but got a nice old meaty hook. Definitely a cool product. They definitely have been putting that swing head on a lot of their baits. Finally made its way to the underspin. I'm happy. I think it's gonna catch fish. So the next thing up, they make an awesome A-rig. They make 2 different sizes, a 6.5 and a 5.5. I love their colors, love that head, and it's got a swivel up front. There's a lot of A-rigs that do not have a swivel on the front. This one's like built in. I know Strike King has a nice one. I don't like the Strike King head, but like it baffles me why you wouldn't build a swivel into the front of an A-rig unless I'm missing something there. But that's why I like these ones. It's a 5 blade. This is their junior size in the 5.5 inch, which I think I already said. But yeah, got blades on everyone. Here in PA, you could throw 5 hooks if you want. I usually just throw 3 on the bottom. If I do throw hooks on the top, they're smaller, but I usually just throw screw locks up top. It kind of helps balance the rig out better. So yeah, that's the 6th Sense A-rig. And one of the bait out of those 3 I'm most excited about, which I think is maybe one of the most innovative things in their swim bait that they've done, is these. These are their treble heads. And basically what these are is they turn any soft plastic swim bait into a line through swim bait, basically. And it's a top hook line hook swim bait. So kind of like the Hangover. These have been out for a while. I haven't seen them, haven't had a chance to get them. Saw them in the stores, like, oh yeah, I have to get these. But we'll try to get the best shot possible. I don't know if you could see that there, but here, hold on 1 second. Look at that. So it's got that nice head with that awesome eye. Like their eye reminds me of the Megabass eye, but basically, I don't know if you could see that. There's a hole right there, and you just run that line right through there, screw lock your swim bait. When I was thinking about doing this, I'm probably gonna add a bobber stop. I'm gonna run that line through, add a bobber stop, put the treble hook on the top of the bait, and make sure right when there's just a little bit of slack, I'll put that bobber stop right up against that head. It might not need it. We'll try with and without, but that's just what I was thinking. So for me pulling on the bait or reeling the bait, I didn't want it to hinder the action, but we'll try it both ways, see which one ways works, but I thought that was a super cool idea. These are 3/8 ounce. They come in a 3-pack. And I think they were like $6 or $7, but definitely something different, something cool. Definitely something if you need to get somewhere where you don't want the hook on the bottom, but they're not biting it good enough to bury, like to have like a bigger regular size swim bait hook. You can, you know what I mean, it's like use a treble hook and it make it that much easier. I don't know why I can't talk tonight, but that's a cool design. It'll definitely come in handy. You'll see that here on the channel. So now we're done with the swim bait stuff. Let's move on. All right, on that same trip that I found all that cool 6th Sense stuff, I came across these and they were on sale for a killer deal. And these, I got 3 of them. They are the Fat Free Shad Junior by Bomber Lures. If you guys, if your dad's a fisher, if you've been in fishing long enough, you know the Fat Free Shad is a classic. This is the new version. That's cool. That's a Tennessee shad right there. That one's gonna be seeing some work with that red eye. But these dive, if I'm not mistaken, this is the BMBD 6F, meaning floating, 2.5 inches, and it's got number 4 hooks on it, and it's gonna dive 8 to 12 feet, depending on your line, the water temperature, all that stuff comes in when, depending on how deep your swim bait goes. But you can, on the safe side, say this is basically your 8 to 10 foot diving, 12 if you really break it down, crankbait. Good looking crankbaits. We'll take one of them out there. We got the dirty watercolor there. But yeah, I love crankbaits, good or bad. I love collecting crankbaits, so we're definitely gonna find out if these cut the mustard, we'll say. Let's take this Tennessee shad one out, because we're definitely gonna be using this one here in the pre-spawn. But yeah, I think I got these for like $3.50 a piece at Dick's. And Dick's isn't known for giving the greatest deals, or maybe they are. Maybe I'm just not good at getting them, but that is a good looking bait. Look at the reflection, just the light from the camera is giving it. So imagine a sunny day underwater with that red eye. Yeah, that's a money shaker right there. That's the rattle in there. We got 3 crankbaits for like just over 10 bucks, 12 bucks, which is, where are you gonna do that at? That look as good as that. And they're deeper diving. Usually the deeper diving are just a tad more expensive. For just over 10 bucks, killer deal, and I bet they're gonna catch some fish. Will the hook seem sharp if I have a fish jump off or they get worn down quick? We'll just change the hook out. It's still a great deal. So those are the crankbaits. What else? What else do we got? Ooh, we got a bait I am super excited about. Tell you the truth, I don't know why this bait didn't come out a long time ago. In my opinion, it should have been their second collab. These two companies did, because these two companies have been working together. Oops, sorry, knocked something over. But and those two companies are Bull Shad Baits and Catch Co. And they brought us the baby bull shad. Killer bait, especially again around the spawn, post spawn, when they're eating those. And the fall, I had a killer day in the fall on a baby bull shad. They came out with a weedless one. They came out with a bunch of baits. I'm missing a bunch. They like a baby bull gill and stuff. And one of the baits I loved that I always wanted to get, I don't know why I didn't splurge. Now that, I mean, I definitely would now, for a regular bull shad, is the rat, the bull shad rat. Rats are killer top water no matter where you go, and they get some of the sickest blow-ups. And finally, I know I took the longest wind way to get there, but finally they collabed on a rat to give us usually rats are bigger, bulkier, expensive, and they finally collabed up to give us the babe, or it's not even the babe, it's the, oh no, it is the baby bull rat wake bait. You can even, I'm pretty sure you can reel it fast and get it to go right under the water there, but look, it comes with 2 tails there. Look at that. Is that not a killer bait? I can't even tell. I'm like thinking about fishing it. But guys, if you have never fished a rat, find one. I used to have a rat hollow body frog, and it used to also get crushed. Like, I think like they don't see them a lot. They do enough, but it's almost like it's like a treat to them. And like you'll see. Just look up topwater rats. Like the blow ups are awesome. I am so glad to get my hand on one. I was just getting ready. I mean, I probably still will. I was getting ready to splurge on one of those nice, expensive. I mean, even the Spro rats, like I think 60 bucks for the size I want. But I think this is perfect size. They make them in a couple colors. I got the black, obviously. But, oh, no. Well, it's already got some marks on it. We'll just say we caught fish on it, huh? But look at that. Tell me that's not going to get just crushed, especially that night or early morning. This clicking doesn't have any rattles in it. But when that thing's clacking through the water, oh man. This might be the bait that cracks that new PB, because big fish love rats. Look at that shot right there. Is that not a beautiful? And I think I only paid, this was either 10 or 15 bucks. I'm doing terrible with prices, guys, but to me it was worth it. Even if it was 20 bucks, I still would have got it. So we're definitely gonna have to check out the other colors. Bull Shad Catch Co. Why did it take so long to come out with this bait? People are gonna find this bait and they're gonna realize this is a good bait. I know that. I don't even have to test that out. So, all right, on to another brand new. I don't know how brand new, but it's been done before. But finally, a company has done it that I think is probably the best way to do it. I know I'm not making any sense, but it's a new. It's not a new topwater bait. It's kind of 2 topwater baits combined again and kind of done right. And let me show you what I'm talking about, because I'm obviously not making any sense. Alright guys, so the bait that I just did a terrible job of trying to explain is the Snag Proof Zoo Series Zoo Pop, and it is a topwater popper obviously, but it is built like a hollow body topwater frog. So basically that means it is a weedless topwater popper, and that's awesome because, well, first off, I know this isn't a new thing, it's been tried before, but I don't think it's been done like this, and I really think they got something here, and I can't wait to try this out. There's definitely going to be a video on this. They make one other bait that is like this, like soft bait, hollow body, and it's like a, not a full-size spook, but I think it's like a 5-inch zoo spook. So, but this is awesome because I've always fished a frog, and the bigger frogs worked for me. It seems better when I've, like, we'll say the span of the last 6 years. The first 3 years I was doing a lot better on a frog, but I don't know if it's because I expanded the baits I use or what, but the smaller stuff seems to be getting bit more and actually getting fish into the boat. So that's why this is huge for me. I got one open here, and as you guys can see, it's got the little bait hooks. We'll obviously get some better shots of this, you guys are probably seeing right now, but we got the frog hooks right there, got the popping mouth. This is like their regular shad color. Still, this is key, it still has the, I think the popper, the best attribute of the popper besides the popping is that little bit of marabou, or not marabou, I can't remember what it's called, but that flashy stuff, the flashaboo, I guess. It has that tail on it, and if you look closely here, there's, I don't know if that'll focus, come on, focus in there. There's a little clip on this that you can actually like add a treble if you wanted to, if you're fishing it more open water style. See if we can get it right there. See that clip? You can throw a treble in that and just smash that down and actually add like a stinger style hook, or I mean, you might even be able to get a trailer hook in there. I don't know, that would affect the action, but that's another awesome feature. But it's super supple, so this is awesome maybe for that heavier powered spinning rod I got, or I mean, you can even throw this on a bait casting rod. I mean, this thing has got to be at least 3/8 to a half an ounce, but I can't wait to throw this up into some trash. Something will definitely destroy this. And we got it in black too, we got 2 of them. So if there's one new bait that you want to try out this year, I know the swim bait thing is like, you got to get all kind of tackle for it and gear. This would be the one, dude. It's a smaller, well, they're owned by Pradco, but it's Snag Proof is a smaller company. They make awesome frogs. They're kind of old school, but this, I can't wait to see. Definitely check back in, and hopefully it gets us a giant, because that's awesome, dude. Alright, so that's that bait. I'm super excited for that. Next up, we got an old freaking classic. Well, actually not for me. As you guys know, I think I've mentioned it in videos before, I've always had this thing with spinner baits. I've never done that well with spinner baits. I think I just never had the patience. So last year, actually, I like made it a goal. I think before I just would always rather throw a chatterbait, but everybody throws a chatterbait. They still work. I still throw a chatterbait, but last year I made I promised myself, I'm like, I'm gonna use the spinnerbait more. I'm just gonna throw it anytime I see like a tree or a laydown, something I can bump it off of. I know they work tons of other places, but I was just kind of focusing on that because I wanted to get a bite. I wanted to like get more confidence in the spinnerbait, and it freaking worked. This video would be too long if I put in some spinnerbait clips, but it's definitely awesome. I mean, most of you guys have probably thrown a spinnerbait and caught some fish, but it's definitely one of those power fishing things that is, it's not like a chatterbait. Like the hook set, the fight, it's pretty awesome. So I definitely had to load up on some old classics. The ones I like throwing the best, I do have the Jason Christie ones, but the War Eagle is the go-to for me. They do get pretty beat up after you catch, like if a fish gets pretty wild on you. I mean, they do bend back, but I will say they don't last if you're, I mean, especially in this pre-spawn when the fish get pretty wild, but like they work. And everyone would tell you a freaking War Eagle spinnerbait gets it done. Like they make awesome buzz baits. I got a spinnerbait version of a wake bait. It's got super big blades. It rides. There I go rambling again, but we know War Eagle, they make good stuff. This right here is the spot remover color. I've been having better luck with the double willows, so that's what I went with. We got like 6 of these things. Here's the classic go-to. I actually like 1 gold and 1 silver, but we went with all silver blades. Probably because I didn't actually notice, but it's another thing to try out. That one's chartreuse and white, the most classic spinnerbait color. And I think they're so good just because they have that perfect like wire size. Well, I mean, there's a bunch of different wires, but I mean, and they got a great little bullet head. So, War Eagle spinnerbaits, you guys, you know it's a go-to. Pardon me like sounding slow or just off. I always make these late, so just always remember it is late night. I am a dad, we got kids. But we got some in the shad colors. I just kept it pretty basic. I got the dirty water chartreuse and white, and then we got just straight bait fish color. This one also has 2 silver willow blades. I think these are all ½ ounce because I think a ½ ounce is a good weight. You can reel it fast enough and keep it up shallow if you're up shallow. But if you're out a little deeper, just let it sink a little bit. 3/8 always tend to ride high no matter what. That's another spot remover color. It's basically chartreuse and white with some flake in it. But that's those War Eagle spinnerbaits. Your typical $6, $7 spinnerbait, and they make like 30 different, whatever color spinnerbait you want, they make it. They make all different kind of blades. And like I said, the Jason Christie Booyah, I can't remember what they're called, but you guys know the ones that came out, the classic a couple years ago. Those are also awesome, especially their Colorado ones. Like that's, if you got dirty water right now, I'll probably be throwing the Colorado blades because they just freaking, it's basically like a chatterbait, like the way it thumps under there. Sometimes it's harder depending on how big that blade is, but, and then we'll start throwing these more shad with the, because the willow more represents a shad, looks like a little bait ball, so we'll start throwing the post spawn, they'll crush that. But that's enough of me rambling on. So we're stocked up on some spinnerbaits, so we're good to go there. Next, we got a couple classics that I always have these. These aren't new baits. Oh, actually, a couple of them are, but pay attention. One of these baits is game. You might want to pick one of these up. They're hard. They're not hard to get. You just have to look for them, and it's a 2-for-1. So we'll get to that one first. And that bait is the Savage Gear Prop Walker. Oh, I should probably show you the bait, huh? There it is. It's your, you know, regular pencil popper top water with a twist. We'll get to that. Let me open it up. But Savage Gear as a brand, they make a lot of like low-key brands. I mean, you see them, but you don't. They're not huge on marketing, but I'll tell you what, like everything from their swim baits, they used to make, I can't find them anymore. Like, I have a couple of their mouses, but they used to make topwater frogs called the Lily Ninja. Dude, they had like they weren't popping frogs, but they had like, the bottom had like a freaking straight side to it, so when you would walk it, it would spit water, and they, I just, for the longest time my PB was caught on one, so I can never find them. So it's Savage Gear, Lily Ninja. Bring back the Lily Ninja, please. I will buy enough of them to keep them. No, I won't. But there's the prop walker. I actually have one in white that's a little smaller that freaking smallmouth love, and that's kind of how I fell in love with this bait, because if you see here, there's these 2 little things on the back, and these are actually little fins that pop out like so. Give me a minute here. I don't want to get hooked while I'm trying to pop these out. But it's usually not that hard. But as you can see there, it has 2 little wings on the back, which makes this, you could throw it as a topwater popper, and if they're not biting that, it kind of turns into basically halfway between a prop bait and a whopper plopper, because it spins like a prop bait, but it does have a little plop noise. Nothing else is like it. So sorry, it's like thunderstorm outside. I thought I heard someone. I'm like, oh yeah, it's a storm. But yeah, this is the bigger size. This is the Savage Gear Prop Walker 130. I have their smaller size. I think it's a 105 and white. So I wanted to try a bigger size. Just tried a darker color. Maybe throw it at night even, especially with this prop. It's definitely done work for me over the last couple of years. So if you can find one, definitely worth checking out. You're welcome. Putting you on game, the Savage Gear Prop Walker. So, alright, I think we got through all the baits. We have a couple things left. It's like terminal, but yeah, those are all the baits. Definitely excited to try those. Next up, I always wanted to try to like customize my reels. John B was a big reason for that. I don't know if you guys like watch videos like I do, like subconsciously, I think my ADHD or my OCD, who knows, it always notices little details and it doesn't throw me off, but I'll never forget that. And John B had a reel that had that like purple handle and it had a different drag color, star color, and it was like, I loved that, dude. And anytime I see anybody else with a custom reel, I always like, man, I want to just order some handles. I did have to order a custom handle before, but that was just because the handle broke, and it was just like cheap Amazon handles. So I finally went out and got some Go Mexis handles, especially for the swim bait reels. Here's one that's for that Daiwa 200, which is turning out to be an awesome swim bait reel. Just the white handles, 100mm big boy. It'll actually, well, it has 100mm on it, so it actually won't slow it down. But a lot of people don't realize, I mean, it's common sense. If you get a bigger handle, it's gonna slow your gear ratio down just a tad. So and Go Mexis, I don't know if you could see all the reading on there. They mainly make handles for like mostly Shimano and Daiwa, but a lot of stuff fits. Like, and they send a ton of hardware with it for whatever you need to make it fit. But definitely remember when you're ordering these to look at that, to try to see what your reel is, because they only list a couple. But if you find out your size, you usually can make one of them fit. So, for the most part, a lot of reels come out of the same places. But we got another one for my Revo Beast. That reel's still around. That handle, I think that handle is just under 100mm, so that'll slow it down. That's a 6.6, but we got the red handles there. Nice little black set. I got a lot of these. They were on sale a little bit. I think they're around like 20-30 bucks, which isn't too bad. I know people are paying a lot more for those nicer handles, but I mean, I've had a lot of these reels for a long time, so they deserve an upgrade, dude. So I'm sure you'll notice them on the channel. And we got another one. This one, guys, I think we're gonna put on the $50 Shimano, just cause, see, these ones are a little bit flashier. These are 85mm, so I don't think we're like changing up what it has on it. That reel actually has a nice handle on it, but I think I want to put this on it just so even if I'm not talking about it, if you guys are watching a video and you see that, like, you'll notice it. If you're like me, you'll see that little detail, like, oh, he's using that reel. When you see these handles, yeah, I'm definitely doing that. Just when you see these handles, just know it's the $50. Well, now this was like $25, $30. I think these were 25 bucks. So now it's a $75 reel once I put these on there. But you guys will know, hey, when I'm using this, just to prove we're gonna use that freaking $50 Shimano. So, which I'm sure is gonna turn out to be pretty decent. Finally, I'm done talking. I'm sorry for making this video so long. I was excited for the new camera, the new gear, the new rods. It's the most I really ever like invested in the beginning of a fishing season. And I definitely, next up is the motor on my boat. So it's just leaking too much. So we definitely gotta get that fixed. Also, if you know 4-stroke motors, shout out, especially it's a knockoff Yamaha motor. Get at your boy. But I appreciate you if you guys are still here. I love you. Subscribe, join the scribe, be ready for a bunch of new videos. So get in the comments, let me know what you want to see, or maybe on what lake, or if you're from out of town, if you're not from Western PA, shout me out in the comments. Also let me know what bait you're most excited about to see this year, whether to use or see me use, whatever. I'm gonna stop talking now because I need to get to bed. Shout out BITCHIN and BASSIN squad, or BITCHIN and BASSIN fam. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all the most. Let's get it.